Good afternoon, Wendy. Paul Wright is my name, and what follows is the oral defence of my business plan. This is a preamble to set the scene. The business plan concerns the division of a large, complex, national not-for-profit called Life Without Barriers. The division that is the subject of the business plan specialises in delivering, among other things, day programs and associated supports and activities that are both centre and community based to people with disabilities. The organisation is also a registered National Disability Insurance Scheme provider. Now, since transitioning to the NDIS, Life Without Barriers has been cross-subsidising the operations of the day centres while continuing to pursue an aggressive growth strategy through mergers and acquisitions. The board and the executive have now determined that this cross-subsidisation cannot continue. I was recruited by Executive Director Brad Swan in early January of this year with the purpose of undertaking investigations and determining why this particular business unit is running at a loss, and to implement and monitor remediation plans, all with a view, if possible, to ensuring that the business at a minimum breaks even as soon as possible, but certainly no later than June of 2020. For the purposes of my defence of the business plan, imagine that I'm now presenting concisely to the board of Life Without Barriers, beginning in 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Thank you for your time. The purpose of my presentation today is to update you on the current status and progress regarding the financial remediation of the lifestyle facility day centres and demonstrate that it is possible to turn the day centre operations around so that they break even or make a small profit by no later than June of 2020.
So let's now have a look at the opportunity, and that is to turn around the lifestyle day centres so that they are financially sustainable. The problem is that the centres, as mentioned, are hemorrhaging money. Some key facts and figures. There are 16 day centres. Turnover annually is about 14 million in the current financial year. There's some 658 clients that are supported, and as of January, the deficit reached nearly 2 million, just over 2 million in February, and it was able to be reduced and is trending down at 1.88 million in March. Without remediation, it would likely result in the organisation making some hard decisions that would affect both clients and their families, as well as staff and their families. The organisation would like to be able to continue the services, but it needs to be able to do so in an economically responsible way. With remediation, though, and urgent remediation, there is certainly the opportunity for there to be success and continue to make a positive impact on families. So what's the solution? It's to investigate and to remediate. In terms of investigation, in early March, there was an exercise at the Union Street Newcastle Day Centre, which had the largest deficit of some 762,000 at that point. And during that exercise, the purpose was to verify client attendance, make sure those people that were in fact attending were people we knew about and in fact we were claiming for, verify income, we were claiming everything that we should be claiming, identify and claim income not claimed, of which it turns out there was a substantial amount, understand the current systems and processes and see what might be changed, and take remedial action. Some key findings from that exercise, which, whilst they relate to Union Street Newcastle, subsequent visit to Nowra that completed on the 18th of April indicates that these themes may well be applicable across the board. And they are, the quotes were incomplete. These are quotes provided to clients and their families. Service agreements have the wrong NDIS line items. Service bookings don't reflect all of the supports provided. Client transport's not charged fully or consistently in terms of pick up and drop off from home, as well as to and from community activities from the day centre. And income that's foregone or not claimed due to the rate differential between the centre-based and community-based rates across the day centres is quite significant. There's too many underutilised vehicles. It appears that there's some overstaffing, both at the disability support worker level and at the local operations management level, the team leader, coordinator and program manager level. Expert knowledge of business rules is lacking by frontline staff and managers, and the tools and competency to manage the business are underdeveloped at a local level. And in fairness to the staff, there's not been a requirement by Life Without Barriers before this point for them to have the line of sight, the visibility, the understanding of management reports and or budgets and financial reports. But these skills are absolutely critical if they're to run those business units with commercial acumen. So we as an organisation need to ensure that they have capacity built and competency imparted. The result of that Union Street exercise in hard dollars was that some $227,000 in previously unclaimed income was subsequently successfully claimed. There was some $80,000 in income that was foregone and deemed unrecoverable, and a further $319,000 in income that belonged to the day centre that had been incorrectly allocated to another service. So the risks, there are many: over-servicing of clients, underclaiming of income due to expert knowledge lacking, training being inadequate, and the result is further income leakage. The remediation action prior to 30 June that's required is to visit all other day centres and ensure that the service agreements and bookings are complete and accurate, and to train staff in service agreements and service bookings, as well as management and financial reports as required, to ensure that the regional finance officers are claiming all income weekly and following up on claim errors so that they're resolved promptly, that vehicles are better utilised or reallocated and disposed of, and that there's a completion of staffing analysis, both in terms of the structure of the day centres and also salary cost allocations, which some have been found to be incorrect. So the forecast for financial year 2020 is built on a number of assumptions. Those assumptions include income leakage is stopped, that an additional 1.4 million in income is claimed, that we eliminate some 12 local management team leader coordinator roles, saving about $1 million a year, and that the NDIS price rise effective 1 July has been taken account of, and that we factored in increases in wages, property and other expenses. And finally, that fleet costs can be reduced by some $250,000, which is about 11 vehicles. As you can see on the screen here, that forecast with those assumptions over the next 15 months through to June 2020 would result in the centres making a marginal profit of about $70,000. And that's subject to what I would call next steps. What are those next steps? Well, again, for the forecast to become a reality, we must reduce fleet costs by $250,000 a year. We need to reduce staff costs by about $1 million, increase income by about 1.4 in addition to the price rises, and develop, implement and monitor remediation plans for each day centre. Absolutely crucial. There is some further analysis required regarding the fleet rationalisation, regarding the restructure of the management and team leaders at each day centre, and further investigation and review of detailed P&Ls and salary costing splits. So the conclusion and recommendations from all of this: certainly there's more work to be done, but it is possible to turn the day centres around by June 2020. And on that basis, I'm recommending to the board that they endorse the plan and forecast and review at the end of September quarter. Thank you.